Hello, listeners. Welcome back to Bit 42. In this chance, we'll bring you a special section in which we'll continue celebrating Halloween because here in Bit 42, we all love Halloween. I had a special and excellent night the last Halloween. So let's continue. I want you to know we'll have a special section in which Juliana, my friend, and I will guide all this mysterious section. I'll answer some questions through our social networks, so you listener has have to go to our social networks and make all the questions you have about Halloween and we'll answer you, okay? So let's begin. My part of this section is called Hallow What? In which I'll answer all your doubts, all the doubts that you have about Halloween. So let's begin. First of all, I want to give you some ideas of the origins of Halloween for you to be contextualized. So let's begin. Number one, ancient Celts used to wear costumes and light bonfire to scare away ghosts. Number two, since 8th century, November the 1st is a special day to honor all ghosts and all saints. Number 3. It's known that Halloween determines the end of summer and the harvest and the beginning of dark and old topic associated with human death. And fourth, the night of October 31st, Celts believed that the ghost would return to Earth, and that's why they celebrated Samhain Festival. We'll talk later about Samhain Festival. So now let's check our social media. Lana102 told me through Twitter to explain the relation between Halloween and All Souls Day. It's a good question, Lana. Let's begin with the meaning. Halloween is a direct derivation of All Saints' Day, with All Hallows, which means the Feast of Saints. We all know Halloween is celebrated the 31st of October, and All Souls' Day is celebrated the 2nd of November. It's a celebration that involves all souls and asking God's mercy for them to be at heaven because they didn't get to heaven. So people used to celebrate this festival. The commemoration begins with in many cultures with some meals offering to the souls of the dead. They also light up candles and leave flowers on their graves so for them to be remembered. Also, in All Souls Day, Catholic churches have a book of death in which parishioners have an opportunity to write the name of their relatives to also be remembered. So, Halloween derives from a holiday, All Saints' Day, on November the 1st. You have to know that All Saints' Day is a different celebration from Halloween and it's a different celebration from All Souls' Day. Halloween, as I was telling, Halloween derives from All Saints' Day on November the 1st, but it's followed by All Souls' Day on November the 2nd. Also, the main relationship between Halloween and All Souls Day is that Samhain originated in ancient Europe. You know, we were talking about the Samhain festival. It originated in ancient Europe as a Celtic fire festival, and since time it became to be celebrated worldwide. It involves ancient spiritual practice that implies remembering and respecting death. So it's like the main relationship between these celebrations. They kind of celebrate the same. So I hope you understood my answer. The other question that I'm reading on Facebook is from Jack the ghost. Oh, it's like a great username, and it's perfect for this celebration of Halloween. He wants me to explain and to talk about the Jack O' Lantern story. Wow, Jack, Jack. It's like the same username as the myth. It's awesome. I love. Okay, don't pay attention to me. So I want you to listen about this special myth, the legend of Jack O' Lantern. So be ready because it's like a good story. So Jack, nicknamed as Stingy Jack, once he was an Irish. He once met the devil at a tavern, so he invited the devil to have a drink with him. True to his name, Stingy Jack didn't want to pay for his drink, so he convinced the devil to turn himself into a coin that Jack could use to buy their drinks, like to pay them. So once the devil did so, Jack decided to keep the money and put it into his pocket next to a silver cross. So in that way, it prevented the devil from changing back into his original form. Jack, you knew how to play with devil and you won. That's okay. Eventually, Jack freed the devil, and under the condition that the devil won't take his soul until he died. The next year, Jack again tricked the devil. He climbed into a tree, and Jack immediately he carved a sign of cross into the tree's bark so that the devil could not come down until he promised Jack not to bother him for the next more 10 years. Jack, you're such a treaty guy. You were such a treaty guy. But when Jack died, the legend says that God would not allow such an unsavory figure into heaven. Jack was alcoholic, he was tricky, he was stingy, so God would not permit him to enter to heaven. And the devil, he was upset of Jack's tricks, but he promised him not to take his soul. So he couldn't enter to neither heaven, neither hell. So he had to stay. He had to stay here on earth. So the devil sent Jack off into the dark night with only a burning coal to light his way. Jack put the coal into a carved out turnip. In some stories, in some places they believe it was a turnip, and in other places they believe it was a pumpkin. It's up to you what to believe, but the legend says that you can find Jack roaming the earth since that moment with a carved out pumpkin or turnip and a burning coal inside. His lost soul, trapped in earth, appears the 31st of October through all places on earth, scaring people, and that's why the figure as Jack of the Lantern was the first name they gave him, but then they simplified it, and that's why he's known. The deadly ghostly figure is known as Jack O' Lantern. So that's like a very brief summary of the story of Jack O' Lantern. I hope you enjoyed. When I investigated about it, I loved the story. It was so catchy, and it's okay. And the last question I'm answering, that this question my friend Julie is going to answer. It's about what do I think about Halloween movies. I know I told you I love Halloween, but something I don't like is the terror movies. So, in my opinion, I don't like Halloween movies, and it's not because of the topic or the story. It's because of the uneasy feeling that I get thinking that in any moment they will scare me. The characters of the movie they will scare me. It's illogical for me, for Christian, paying a cinema ticket just for being uncomfortable along all the movie. I don't like that feeling that I will get like scared at any moment and at any time. So that's why I prefer not to watch those kind of movies. But in the other hand, there are some Halloween movies that don't scare, and they had become like tradition in my life since I have celebrated Halloween when I was a little kid. So I can say I watch those movies, but not the scary ones because I don't like that feeling. So, my dearest listeners, that was all for today. Thank you for being at this section called Hello What? Next, there will be my friend Juli that will solve some other questions that you wrote us through our social network about Halloween topic. So I hope you enjoyed it. Let's go to this little break, and next on you will be with my friend Juli. Bye bye. Remember, this was Christian with our Halloween topic in Bit 42. Bye bye. Thank you for everything, listeners.
Porque el negocio de mi familia necesita profesionalizar.
Porque estudiar no me aleja de mi familia.
Porque aprender siempre es ir hacia adelante.
Porque los sueños y las pasiones son para vivirlos.
Porque estudiar
Es siempre seguir creciendo.
Y siempre voy por más. Escogí estudiar en el Poli Virtual.
Elige tu destino. Vive el Poli. Politécnico Gran Colombiano.
Morning, listeners. You are tuning in Bit for Two. This is Halloween Wave section. I'll be answering all your questions about Halloween. So let's start the game. Okay, I've just received the first question. Hi, Lauren. Thanks to be the number one. Well, Lauren asked me to explain how Halloween came to America. Okay, that's a great question. Okay, Lauren. In Christian times, it became a celebration of the evening before All Saints' Day. Immigrants from Scotland and Ireland brought the holiday to the United States. The commercialization of Halloween started in 1900. Here's the second question. Hello, Tony. You're asking about the story about trick or treat. Trick or treat started in medieval Europe by poor children as a warning ultimatum given to householders in order to ask for gifts, food, money to children. In counteroffer, children would pray for their souls in neighborhood. This is called souling. That recently departed from them. The phrase is a suggestion that if householders give those things to children's treat, they wouldn't perform a trick on the owner's house. Oh, this is going so well. Here's another question. Fantastic. This one is from Louis. He's wondering about the relation between candy and Halloween. He said, why candy? Okay. It was during 1950 that candy made decisive inroads in dominating Halloween. Along the trick-or-treating racing allowed a great opportunity for marketing, a parade associated with children and fun. It was until 1170 that candy started to be seen as the only legitimate treat. Guess what, listeners? I got the same question. Ali asked me to talk about a little about Halloween movies. Okay. As far as I'm concerned, some of Halloween movies are cool, but fictive. Their main topic is really interesting and entertaining. In my opinion, those keep me caught. But the others are super fake, so generally that turns to ruin them. So at the end, those become so boring. Great! Time's up, guys. I'm going to answer the last question. This is from Brandy. Hello, my friend. I'm going well, thanks. You're asking for the explication of the origin of Halloween parties. I like this question. I really love Halloween parties. So I can tell you, many decades before, ancient Celts used to organize harvest festivals and may have had pagan roots. Itself was Christianized as Halloween by the early church. And so over the years, this tradition was left behind and replaced by modern parties. Are no longer like rituals or something like that. Nowadays are totally different. It's like going to bars with friends and dance together around and wearing costumes of their preferences, like their main character, of their favorite movies. I don't know, it's something like that. It's very totally different from the past. Okay, that's all, guys. So I have to go. The time's up. So have a great day, and don't forget you're tuning in Bet 42. Bye bye.